Hello and welcome to Pepisode 5 of the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game playthrough. Now, this is not an episode where we're going to do anything per se. Instead, it's character building. So we just finished off the Ruins of the Lost Coast Adventure Path. So we're going to need to get a skill feat, but we'll come back to that after we talk about the equipment. So some of this is pretty easy. Kyra, Spyglass, Saber-Tooth Tiger being kept over, 2 weapons, 3 spells. Don't really have any choices there. We technically do on the Tiger, but I think she really needs the Tiger, so I'm not even going to give you the option to defy me. Next up, we have armor and blessings. Now, technically, Kyra has everything that she needs. But these are the options to think about that we might want to switch with Valeros. Now ignore all this stuff in the middle here, and let's go over to Valeros. So, first up, Valeros has 1 more weapon than necessary. So what we need to do is decide which of these weapons to give Valeros. So one of them is going to get thrown away. To kind of give you the upsides, you might instantly see the crossbow and think, let's get rid of that. But Valeros could use that to give D4 combat checks to Kyra, and it's only a recharge instead of a discard as well. Now the dagger is a similar kind of thing where he can give himself an extra D4 by discarding/recharging it on top of a regular weapon. And the short sword is just kind of a normal weapon. Just gets used normally. These ones, of course, use dexterity if used as regular weapons, so it's a little bit worse. Now for the armor, he has as much armor as he's supposed to have, but the question really comes down to, should one of these wooden shields go to Kyra? That way that Valeros has more absolute protection, because the wooden shields can't be used to can't be given up in order to reduce all damage. They can only be used for combat damage. So that's a thought. I won't force it on you though. And then we've got the blessing situation where he can only have 3 blessings. 2 of them are actually the non-standard blessings. So the question is, do we want to give either of these blessings to Kyra? And Kyra has more cards in hand, so it can be helpful to have blessings. So, and the last thing over here, second last thing, is the ally. So he can have 2 allies total, and we have these options. So the soldier recharges for a D4 to melee combat, guard recharges for a D6 on perception checks, and the standard bear adds a D6 to non-combat strength or constitution. So any combination of 2 is what Valeros needs. Now, the last thing of note, we already have 1 item, but Valeros is supposed to have 2 items. Now, we didn't actually get an extra item over here either, so what happens in this situation is we actually get the option of taking any basic item we want. So, yeah, here are all the options. I'm not going to go through what all of them do, but I'm going to pan down so that you can pause and read them if you really want to. And I have a couple of suggestions, those being the 3 that are in the center here. So the Thieves' Tools, mostly for the discard to defeat a barrier part. Potion of Hiding, because Valeros absolutely cannot hide normally. And the Amulet of Mighty Fists, because it adds the magic trait. So you can't use a weapon along with it, but he's pretty good at melee anyway, so that could be a way to defeat all those ghosts. And the rest of them are, a lot of them are decent options too, so don't feel pressured to pick one of the 3 that I suggested. Okay, so those are the options that I need to know what character building things you want to have go on. But now, what we need to do is also pick a skill to increase. So when you do these skills, you're going to check one of the little boxes, and that'll permanently give a +1 in that particular skill. Now, something to think about, I might split the characters up again every once in a while, so giving them a bonus to something they're not good at can be pretty helpful. But it's also, of course, helpful to give them bonuses and things they are good at in order to give them more advantages. So it's really up to you. There isn't really a wrong way to do this. So that is Kyra. Should just call her Kyra in the first place. And here's Valeros. So each of them needs to get a +1. And in case you're wondering, yes, the +1 does apply on top of the charisma or diplomacy or melee bonus. So technically, if you gave him a +1 in strength, he would actually be doing strength +4 whenever making those checks. Okay. And that's it. It's a shorter episode, really. I just need to know your opinion on how you want the characters built. I'll see if I can get kind of a final... You probably won't be able to read it anyway, but those are all the things for Valeros. And here are all the things for Kyra. All right. Well, I won't waste any more of your time. Thanks for watching. Really need to know in the comments if you're keeping up on this, what you think the characters should have going forward. As I said, remember, I may occasionally split them off. Maybe I'll even add an extra party member at some point. So, think about the fact that they aren't necessarily going to be in the same two-player situation the whole time. Again, huge big thanks for watching. These are longer videos other than this one. So I really appreciate it. And as always, live free. Game hard. Pathfinder, the Adventure Card Game by Pepisode.